What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In one of those classic rise and shine moments, it's time to get up, get my butt in gear, and finish taking apart the engine of the Mustang RTR Spec 2. So we saw in the last video, I have the valve covers off, started to take off the timing cover, and I think we'll just go ahead and finish this up today and see if we can start getting these heads off. I've never worked on one of these Coyote engines before. The only engines that I've really ever broken open and worked on were old Mitsubishi Eclipse 4G63T engines. So I don't really know the best way to release the tension on this. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove the tensioner right there, and that should do it. Let's cross your fingers, hope for the best. Right as I started to turn the second bolt, it just twisted it out of place and released this. So now we really have no tension. Woo! Okay, there was that. Alright, since I have the chain off on that side, I guess I'll just start working on this side of getting the head off. Now, this is my first time doing this, so if I'm doing anything wrong, just let me know in the comments. Don't be brutal, but this is how we find out. And if it screws up, well, then we'll figure it out from there, right? Whenever I'm working on stuff, I try to keep all the bolts with what they came out of, and I also try to line everything up the way it came off, that way it can go on in the exact same spot. With some of this stuff I know you have to do that, but not with everything, but I just want to make sure because I'm no mechanic. Forgot to hit record and show myself taking these things out. But once I got the rear bracket off, I just kind of twisted a little bit on the front. This whole thing came off together. Everything looks pretty good here. I didn't think there would be anything wrong with these whatsoever, but I got them covered in a bag here. Now we're gonna go start trying to take that head off. Well, here's the head on the driver's side of the engine. And get everything out. Gonna toss it in this bag right here. That way everything stays good. I don't see any issues with this at all. So we'll check the engine, see how it looks there once I get the other head off. Okay, so pulled off the head on the passenger side, and there is a decent amount of water in this thing. I took out the spark plugs and tried to rotate it before to make sure it wasn't hydro locked, but either I was mistaken or this happened after the fact. I don't know, but I mean, there's a considerable amount of liquid in all three of these cylinders here. It looks like there may have been some in here. Actually, not really though. It doesn't really look like there's anything in this one, but these three here, I mean, you can see it. It's nasty. Since we see there's clearly liquid in here, we're gonna have to see if we can crank this over, see again if maybe it was hydro locked. Wrench here. Oh, that's about half my weight on this thing, and it's still not turning. Yeah, she's locked up, so the bottom end is done for sure. So we're gonna have to start shopping around for one of those. So I'm gonna hop online, start seeing if I can find one of those. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get a brand new one. If I'm gonna see if I can find a used one. Part of me really wants to do 5.2, but we'll see. Gotta find a new one of those for sure. Okay, so like I said in the last video, we got our front bumper and hood. We got all of our body parts now except for our headlights and our rear PP spoiler. I do have some RTR parts that are in now to add to the rest of the stuff that we have, but I really think the next thing that we need to do in terms of body panels outside of the PP spoiler is we need to put in an order for the Spec 5 fender flares, because the thing is, we're gonna have to paint this car eventually, right? And to have it all test fitted and make sure everything's good to go and start assembling it again, we have to have those fender flares to do this, because I don't want to backpedal and have to repaint and do all that other stuff. So we're going to start looking at getting those fender flares. And as you can see, although it's a little bit dirty and covered with pollen, the RTR Series 1 powered by Ford Performance, the supercharged RTR Series 1 powered by Ford Performance, is back in the driveway. So the reason we got the car back so soon is because the Houston Rodeo was closed down, unfortunately. It was due to the growing health epidemic that's going on. Houston decided it was in their best interest to close down the Houston Rodeo about 2 weeks early, so it's back. The car is gonna be staying with us for a little bit, so we will be doing some videos with that, hopefully. Let me step back out in the light so you can see this beautiful face and this awesome Nightwing shirt. But we are gonna do some more with that, start looking for the engine, start getting the Spec 5 fender flares, but until next time, peace.